Alright, I feel like there's no better way to start off today's video like a fresh set of tools. So we just picked up the brand new Milwaukee 1/4" impact and the high torque 1/2" impact, which I'm super excited about this because now we're finally starting to deck out the tool chest with all the important tools that we'll need, just like this one, so we can actually work on the car like in the garage. Now don't get me wrong, I love working on the car at the shop, but sometimes it's easier just to do it from the comfort of your own home and it speeds things up. So picking up stuff like our low profile 3-ton jack and a good set of power tools, we're gonna be set. Now we do already have our fair share of sockets, including our 1/2" impact socket, which I think the 22 mil is the correct size to pull the wheels off this car, which that's the most important one. However, we do have our fair share of other deep sockets, which that's gonna come in very clutch. And then we have the regular ones, and those all can be hooked up through one of these bobs. Nevertheless, we're getting decked out and all the proper tools we need, and I'm feeling like this garage is finally starting to come together. However, after we unbox some of these tools, we do have to put them to good use today because we do need to get some stuff done on the drift car because there is a lot wrong with this thing. Hands down, the first and most important thing is going to be bleeding the hydro because that thing is an absolute disaster right now. I may have lost all the brake pressure on the hydro. On top of that, we won't need the impact for this, but we do need to do the spark plugs today. That's gonna be a challenge because I haven't done spark plugs in over a year and I kind of forget how to do it. So that's gonna be a whole nother process. But we're gonna knock a lot of that stuff out today and then take this car out and actually test to see if it's somewhat drivable. I know I'm missing parts of my transmission at the moment, but the car still moves if you put it in certain gears. So let's unbox a lot of this stuff. Gonna be the fancy new 1/4" impact. Now this is the fun stuff. This thing's heavy. I'm gonna knock somebody out with this. Hell yeah. Now my favorite part, and the most important, our 3-ton jack. Now unfortunately they didn't have a pink and white jack. That would have been cool, but blue works because that was the original color of the car, so. Okay, I must say I am beyond impressed with the performance of this Walmart folding table. How it's holding this jack right now without a problem is beyond me. Alright, so a little bit got done off camera. I'm charging up both the batteries at the moment. Not that I need to like have them fully charged, but that one is. And this guy is practically fully charged. Now I'm gonna go get changed real quick into like actual work clothes because I don't want to get covered in brake cleaner and ruin like my nice shirts and stuff. However, once we get changed, we do have to turn the car around because unfortunately the garage isn't big enough to properly use the jack, if that makes sense. It is, but we either have to A, jimmy the car sideways, or B, just turn the car around so we can fit the jack underneath the rear differential. All right, let's turn this thing around. Now my hope is my low profile, not so low profile jack actually fits under here. I'm not gonna lie, this was the easiest to raise jack I've ever had. Literally just this amount of pressure pushes it down. I love brand new jacks. This is fantastic. Now, before anybody comes at me in the comment section, I don't remember, but there's a specific side that you're supposed to start with. I can't remember whether it's the driver's side you're supposed to bleed first or the passenger side. I think you're supposed to do the side that's closest first and then the side that's long. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. When bleeding a hydraulic e-brake, what side of the car are you supposed to bleed first? Okay, so it's actually, we're supposed to bleed the passenger side first. Thanks, ChatGPT. Now, if you've never bled your brakes before, it's pretty simple. It can get a little bit messy. That's why we got this pan here to catch any excess fluids that might spill over. So first thing is we're gonna remove the master cylinder so we can hold it up high enough over the actual thing so the fluid can drip down really fast. So while AJ fills that up, I'm gonna put on said gloves. 1, 2, 3. Ah, there goes the air. So if you don't know, when it comes to bleeding brakes, it's all about getting the air out of the brake line so we have just constant brake fluid pressure here. All right, ready again. Passenger side, done. Now we got to do the same process on the driver's side, and then I should have some more brake pressure from that. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God! I really hope you got that one. That was a little bit on the nut side. Although that was kind of a disaster, we got the brakes somewhat bled. I just realized I don't have any brake cleaner, so I don't need to pick some of that up to clean the rotor off so I don't cause a fire. Other than that, we should be good. Now the last wheel goes on and then we should be good to go. Now this process took a little bit longer than expected, but that's fine. All right, now that process is all done, it's a little bit late, so we're gonna finish this whole thing tomorrow with the spark plugs and all that, so I will see you in like 2 seconds in the morning. All right, so if you've never done spark plugs before, it's quite the pain in the ass. So a lot of these, they come sort of pre-gap, which if you don't know, gap is the distance from the side electrode to the top electrode. Like here's like a little diagram like right here. But I need to lower it down so it can work with the nitrous kit better. This is gonna take a minute because we got 8 spark plugs to go through because obviously this is a V8. Thankfully we got our good friend Veronica over there to help us like speed through the process. All right, if you've never changed spark plugs before, it's actually super simple. Outside of like one of the coil packs back there, that's gonna suck to pull out. So all you need to do is remove all 8 of your coil packs to access the spark plug. So we need to pull that out with, I believe, a probably 8mm socket. Where the f are my sockets? Am I stupid? Oh, here we go. But once you get that one bolt unscrewed, these should just pop right out with a little bit of pulling. Oh, there you go, you got 1 coil pack done. Now you gotta go through 8 more. The noise it makes when it pops out is so satisfying. There it goes. Thank you. There it is. Damn, you got through all 4 already?
You take out this actual coil, right?
How the f did they do that?
Yeah, talking all hype and forward up. Okay. Nissan ain't got shit like that.
You and your little 370 over there ain't doing much. All right, so little side mission here. You gotta pull this thing out, which that was actually a lot easier than I thought.
Okay, I'm just weak. Okay, cool.
Now, once that's done, you're gonna wanna take spark plug socket, your lovely 3/8 ratchet. You're gonna wanna just stick this thing in there. These are not supposed to be this tight. They're supposed to be like quarter turn. Am I loosening this or am I tightening this? All right, well, normally it should be just a light boom. This is not just a light boom. This is bad. The fact that we need to...
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it'll work.
That's crazy tight. Okay, normally spark plugs are not meant to be that tight on there. And your old spark plug can come out, which these aren't terribly burned. These are actually pretty good. We got 1 out. Now we gotta go through this process 7 more times. When we reinstall the new spark plugs, you will definitely see why that is so concerning. What's the gap on those?
4.
That's all right. Can you double check the new ones? I should be at 0.38 with all of them. This one's gonna suck. Can I have the breaker bar? There we go. 4 down, 4 to go. The good thing is these aren't cross-threaded, so that's a win. The question is gonna be the back one. That's gonna suck.
The fact that they didn't make an access hole right here makes me so mad.
Once you got all the old ones out, getting the new ones in is super easy if you do it properly and not torque them down to 600 foot-pounds of torque. You wanna take the new spark plug, jam it in like so, and then I'm not even gonna use the ratchet, I'm just gonna hand screw it on. And then once you get it to about hand tight where you can't turn it by hand anymore, then you're gonna take the lovely old ratchet here and then do just about a quarter turn. Okay, I've never had that happen before. That's insane that the spark plug socket got stuck on the spark plug.
A few moments later.
Separate these two?
Yeah.
All right, do you want to grab the bottom? I do have pliers.
It's on the socket now, so I can pull the socket out. Now the socket's not stuck, but the extensions.
How'd you even get this in here? So we've run into a little bit of a dilemma here. Miss Veronica here put too long of an extension into the cylinder wall, and now it's stuck.
Hey,
so
your socket's the one that did this.
I don't know how we're gonna get this out. We've been trying to pry at it for the past couple minutes. It's taking longer than expected to get this thing out. This is the most confusing spark plug job I think I've ever had happen. Are you trying to remove the insulation?
You have a trim tool or no?
Unfortunately, no. But
Making me work over here.
I don't even know how you managed to get that stuck like that. Now onto the coil packs. Now thankfully, Veronica already did one of these, but she is putting, what is it?
Dielectric grease.
Supposedly it's important to, what is it?
It actually helps the connection and keep corrosion out.
Okay, so it does that. As you can see, I have no idea what I'm doing 99% of the time and don't know what I'm messing with. So all you have to do to reinstall said coil packs is the same way they go in. Just shove it right in, you'll feel it slide right in. Then you can take the bolts, little 8mm bolts, screw these things back in. Nice little 8mm. And then get these nice and snug. You don't want to over torque it obviously, but you want it relatively snug. And then once you get one in, plug the wire back in just as so, clip it back into place, and boom, you got 1 coil pack in, and then now you just got to repeat the process 7 more times. All right, so we just got the rest of the coil packs in. Now we just got to start the car, and we're gonna have to go take it for a little drive to see if this thing is like actually functioning properly. If it is, then we did it correctly. If not, then the car will blow up, and that's gonna be fun. Then I'm blaming you.
Hey now, not my fault. You bought this.
All right, let's fire this thing up and hopefully nothing goes too wrong. All right, now I'm genuinely concerned that this thing either A, doesn't start, or it just starts running perfectly again. Because the car has been in and out of limp mode. If this fixed the limp mode problem and I misdiagnosed the transmission, I'm going to be so mad at myself. Forgot to hit the kill switch. Seems to be working. Still got to check engine light. That's normal. It sounds like it's running good. It doesn't sound like there's a misfire. So should I hit your Z or should we?
If you do, you're buying it. There's 100 of them. No way.
So she's got the 50th anniversary Fair Lady Z, which is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a Z person, but all right. I'm trying to listen to see if it's sounding any different. So far, it sounds normal. Now, once we get the motor somewhat warm, we can open it up. But right now, it's still kind of cold, so we're gonna drive around first, then we can test it. Which, after a quick pit stop for some food, we're gonna actually try and open this thing up and see if it explodes.
I love that sound.
The chirping diff.
Yeah.
It works. It's throwing no codes, so I'm very, very excited about that. That's a huge win. Yeah, that's definitely it. Your little modification.
Yep, that electric grease solved it all.
Alright, let's park this car before we get arrested, and then we should be good. I don't know how street legal this thing is. Alright, so we have successfully fixed this car, somewhat. There's still a few more things left to do, like the angle kit and a few other things that are making a lot of random weird noises, which...
Dragonfly though, holy shit.
Oh yeah, we just murdered a bug. That's... Poor fella. Yeah, there's still a few more things to fix on this car, like the angle kit and everything, before we hit the track next weekend. So we got to get to work on that, and that's gonna be more of a next video thing, because there's no way I'm doing that today. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I love y'all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.